Have you heard of any of this Kendra TikTok drama?
No.
No. Okay, so there's
Kendra who?
It's a good question. I don't know who Kendra is, but she's this girl who has started this like. Okay, so admittedly, I've not actually watched any of her videos. I've just watched recap videos of this, but she did one of those like a 1,000,000-part series of like one of those like who did I marry type things. But it was who was my psychiatrist, and she like goes on to then. Did you see this?
Like,
and she like claims that her
she fell in love with him.
Yeah, she's like claims that the psychiatrist is in love with her, but apparently, like all of people's claims are like she's just fucking cuckoo. Like she is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, is what I've gathered, and that she has totally like gaslit this poor psychiatrist and is now trying to like get him.
His license probably
get his
taken
license
away.
revoked, and this poor man is like, I need a restraining order against this girl. She's crazy.
It's the first validation she's ever had from a man, and so somebody that actually listens to her and hears her, then she's like, oh, he must be in love with me.
He must be in love with me. I don't know.
No, I did not see that.
You didn't see this? This is all that the TikTok drama has been this
I
week.
only saw the like psychologist something, but I didn't hear anything about Kendra. I didn't hear any Kendra news. It was just a lot of people pretending to be the psychiatrist and pretending to be her. Yeah, the warm one. Choose the warm one.
Is that better?
The third, no, choose the other one that you
The
just
other
had.
one makes me look yellow. Jaundice. I think this is the right one.
Okay.
We're going to go with this one.
All right.
I'm a hot girl. I'm a hot girl. I get anything I want. This is my world. I make big moves in my big heels. Since the day that I was born, I've been a big deal.
Welcome to Let Her Shoot, the only podcast that covers women's sports the way that we want them covered. That means women talking about women's sports. No kid gloves, no bullshit, respect for the fans, respect for the players, respect for our co-host, two-time, I can do this off the top of my head now, Sarah, two-time Emmy Award winning, which, I mean, it's sad that it's taken 18 episodes, but here we are.
It's 19,
it's really,
actually.
19. It's the anxiety in me where I have to just, it's like, I'm Ron Burgundy, two-time Emmy Award.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Two-time Emmy Award-winning producer Sarah Chovnik, zero-time Emmy Award-winning or nominated talent Trysta Crick, although the nomination and the win is somewhat debatable, which we won't rehash here. So we've got a very stacked show. It was rivalry weekend.
It was.
In the NWSL and the WNBA. A lot of matchups. Sarah and I watched some good ones, and we also watched some stank butt ones that were supposed to be good. Also, volleyball is back, Sarah, in the United States. Took another world title in lacrosse. So both the W and the NWSL are in the playoff push now. We are breaking down the chaos there. And trade deadline has just passed, so we want to talk about who's gotten better and who's gotten worse.
Yeah, we watched a couple games this weekend. We had a couple bookmarked. And the one we actually didn't bookmark was the Sky Fever, because we thought that was going to be.
Because the Sky are disgusting.
Yeah. To put it lightly.
And no Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, so what are we doing?
And the Fever are basically a hospital wing at this point.
Yeah, Sydney Colson goes down, tears her ACL. You called that, Sarah, when she tore her ACL.
I saw it.
I said, ooh, maybe it was a knee tweak. And you said, no, that was an ACL tear, boo-boo. She's done. And I was wondering why the Fever were not competing against, I forget who it was that they were playing. Turns out earlier in that game, Ari McDonald, who we interviewed at the All-Star game, broke her goddamn foot. So she wasn't in the game. And that just happened quiet as kept.
That was so quiet. We didn't even see it happen. I mean,
didn't hear about it.
No, we watched the whole game because we watched Fever Mercury, and I mean that game wasn't really competitive. I mean, it was for a little bit. It wasn't for most of it. Sophie Cunningham did all she could to keep them in the game against the Mercury, but it fell flat.
Did you see the chirping, Sarah?
There was a lot of we got to talk about the chirping. Lexi Hull and DeWanna Bonner were having a chirp off the whole game.
It was so uncomfortable. So I don't know if this was AI, but I think it was real that Lexi Hole showed up in a sweatshirt that says, "Mrs. Take Your Job."
No, I think that was photoshopped.
Was that photoshopped?
I think so.
Anyway, that was in reference to the fact that Lexi Hole did in fact take DeWanna Bonner, multiple-time All-Stars job, and to the point where DeWanna Bonner was so pissed that she was on the bench that she left the team. It seems that we have, speaking of rivalries, a new rivalry. Any team that DeWanna Bonner and Alyssa Thomas are on, and the Fever, because they hate the Fever. Last year, I don't know if you saw this, but Alyssa Thomas was like, the Fever fans are the worst fans in the league. And when DeWanna Bonner went, like when all the Caitlin Clark mania was happening and the Fever fans were doing their whatever thing that they were doing.
Their stink,
the stank stuff that they were doing. She went on to the podium and was like, this is the worst fan base, period.
And then DB joined them.
So then when DB came to the Fever, everyone was like, what's this about? How's this going to go? Because we know y'all are in lockstep.
Right.
Why are you going there?
Oh, she didn't stay there long. I mean, she's back at the Mercury now.
She had a cup of coffee. She went to Phoenix to join up with Alyssa Thomas. And I've been looking at the box scores, and I just have to say, it looks like an unrivaled game because it's just Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner scoring, and pretty much no one else is.
I want to talk more about them in a minute, but let's stay on the Fever for right now.
Yes.
Because the Fever, how much is this Sid Colson and Ari McDonald gonna kill them? They picked up Odyssey Sims on a hardship contract.
One-time All-Star Odyssey Sims.
But that's not just one set of shoes to fill, it's two. And Caitlin Clark is still out, and we still do not know when she is coming back. We have no idea. So we have no idea what is this roster going to look like as they try to make a playoff push. Because as you and I were saying, the schedule does not allow for a lot of losses coming down the stretch right now.
Yeah, if you look at the standings right now, if you go on like a 4-game losing streak, which they could easily do, depending on who they're playing, and I haven't dug into the schedule, and I could do it, but then the camera
their
would
next
be...
games. They've got coming up. They've got Dallas, Washington, Connecticut.
Okay, that's a win.
Then they go, then it gets ugly. Because then they go back-to-back against Minnesota.
Oh, those are losses.
And then against Seattle.
That's probably a loss as well.
Then they have 3 more games against Minnesota this season.
Oh, yeah. So I think there's like 6 games between the 2nd seed and the 10th seed. So it is crowded up there. I think it's awful. I mean, you're talking about devastating injuries. Sid Colson's been there as a great backup. Ari pretty much has been the reason that the Fever have held any water at all. She was awesome against the Storm when they won last week. And I don't know what Odyssey Sims has to contribute. She was looking pretty good in LA before they waived her. And maybe she'll step in just like Ari McDonald did and be able to do the same thing. I don't know. But it's starting to stack up. And on top of that, now the depth is off and way less. It's just a team that probably isn't going to be able to do a lot in this playoffs if they make the playoffs.
But now, again, on the flip side of that, Kelsey Mitchell and Sophie Cunningham right now both are, they're pulling their weight. Sophie had what? She had a game of 16 against the Sky and 18 against the Mercury.
She looked really good against the Mercury.
She looked really good.
Was bombing from everywhere. One of those situations where you're like, okay, and now Kelsey Mitchell is actually leading the league in points, which is kind of seems like a fake stat, but that's the stat that I'm getting.
Did you see Kelsey Mitchell put HVO on some skates?
No.
Did you see this?
What was it like? Okay, so she's there. Oh, she's gone. Oh no. One more. Okay, so she gets the screen. Kelsey Mitchell's like, ISO on me. Oh, she's gone. Little hezzy. She just wasn't in good defensive position to begin with. I did see a lot of the chitter chatter. I didn't see the play. Saw a lot of the chitter chatter that it was HVL's first welcome to the league moment.
It was definitely, it felt like that. It felt very that 2016. It felt very much that Iowa LSU matchup where we just saw her.
They need a guard over there in Chicago. They really do.
They really do.
I feel bad.
What does Dallas need? Because Dallas looks about as lost as they could look. They had their worst loss of the season this past weekend against the Mystics. And it wasn't even one, like you noted, they were up 12 at one point. And they still lost.
They were actually up 14 in the first half. And the Mystics just turned on the Jets. And the thing that was really surprising to me was that our guy, Man Bun, the coach of togetherness, just doesn't know how to call a timeout to slow these girls down. And he puts smaller players in the game. They get cooked. This Dallas defense, in the interior, is just not very good at all. And so you need to really rely on Paige to do everything. Clearly, Paige is still hurt with a tweaked neck. I don't know why she was even out there. She's doing her best. And then after the fact, Chris Cocklanes comes out and is like, sometimes you got to take a step back.
He's just forward. Over there.
We're over there planting seeds. You guys know that I don't have any coaching experience. And
not a brag. Not a brag.
Expectations were not for us to skyrocket right away. We're building culture here. This may not show up on the court, but it's happening. Believe us. And it's like, and then on top of that, he benched Enrique in one of the games down the stretch. He was like, we were just like riding the momentum. So I just don't think they really he doesn't really want to take accountability. We got Diamond Miller who just got there and everybody's like, Diamond Miller, she's a great player. Maybe she can thrive in Dallas. Played 2 minutes the other night. 2 minutes after she cooked the team, being like, I played in Minnesota and it's like a lot different here. There's a lot that needs to change here. It went on crazy on TikTok and then all of a sudden she's disappeared like Dejanay disappeared out of the lineup as well.
I think the free Paige, #free Paige, right? Like that's where we've got to put our focus on now because Paige deserves better than what she's getting right now.
Yeah, she does deserve it. And the thing that I wanted to ask you about, because this is a conundrum, is every fan is like calling for Nola, the assistant coach, to be the coach. Mm-hmm. And Maisha Hines-Allen is like, hey, one of the players for the Wings, comes to the fan and is like, hey, you can't say that. We have to be with Chris. He's still our coach. You're not supporting us by screaming that you want Nola. And to me, that's like, I'm very conflicted over that because I do feel that public pressure can get a coach fired. But what if it doesn't? Does that make it harder for the players to be able to create a winning culture? Do you feel like that just creates a hostile, weird, awkward work environment where Paige is already sort of like stepping on Chris when he shits on Enrique and she's like, no, actually Enrique is great. It's weird.
I think it puts the players in a really shitty position, right? Because if you're the player then that is like, you know what, this is our coach, and because of that, I'm going to try to respect what he says and his authority and this and that, then you're looked at as like caving into the mentality. Yeah, like you're why aren't you doing more? Why aren't you stepping up against this? Like if like within the locker room, I mean. I don't mean like from the fan perspective. I mean like within the locker room, right? If you've got leaders in the locker room who are against the coach and you've got leaders in the locker room who are for the coach, then all of a sudden it's not even coaching related, but you've completely divided the locker room. And then what good is that going to do anybody at this point? So I feel like it's one of those things where, yeah, you can express just like online that, get rid of this coach. We don't want him anymore. In the same way that we do with any sport, fire so-and-so into the sun. You know, I was yelling that about Kalen DeBoer last year for sure, at least 1.5 million times. But like, I'm not the one who makes that decision. And so if the players believe in the coach in any capacity, or if the administration does, in
or
this
even
case,
if they don't,
the ownership, but if they have him in place, like, that is kind of your job at that point, right? To go with the coach. Now, you can advocate behind the scenes and say whatever you want. Like, hey, I think that this coach should take over. I think that Man Bun needs to go. And I think Paige can have those conversations for sure. But I don't think it should necessarily be for Paige to have those conversations. It should be for Paige's team to be having those conversations with the Dallas GM, not the fan base yelling it from the court. You know what I'm
if I'm Paige, I'm letting Watson.
Like, I don't want to get involved with that. I don't want to.
Like, hey, could you, Lindsay, can you guys call Kurt Miller? I don't want to have this conversation about wanting the coach to be fired. I know we're going to have an exit interview and all that. But, like, between me and you, I want his ass fucking out of here.
I want his ass gone.
I am used to Gino. What is this guy? Gino's like one of the longest standing, successful women's coaches in history. You go from Gino to a guy that's like barely wet behind the ears, never coached in his life, for the #1 overall pick. Are you insane?
Are you kidding me? Right. But that should be for, like, in my opinion, that should be her team sorting that out, not Paige herself going into the locker room and trying to advocate for a different coach. I just think that's messy, and that puts her in a position that I just don't think that's fair to do to someone in their first year, in their rookie year. This has brought about the conversation, right, that we've talked about, which is this really where Azzi should be next year?
Sarah, I don't know. Because you think maybe them together when they do figure things out would be like really, really impactful. And you need to give Paige support. And if things are bad, at least you can rely on the homies and you can rely on the person that you're closest to in Azzi and like live through it together. But if I'm in Azzi's camp, I'm like, ooh, things are not going well there. Yeah. Because think about this as it relates to sort of Paige to a degree. The Minnesota Lynx have the Chicago Sky's first round pick next year. So you're now a championship caliber team and you add Azzi Fudd. Also, by the way, looking down the road, where is Paige Beckers from?
Minnesota.
From Minnesota. Maybe it's one of those things. If
probably
you build it, Paige
a little
will
more gay friendly in Minnesota than in Dallas.
Is it? Probably any place is a little bit more gay friendly.
But probably a little more than Dallas. I mean,
yeah.
Other than Hunting Wives, you know, we've seen.
Did you see? By the way, real quick,
are we going to talk about Angel Reese wanting to be on Hunting Wives season 2? Because that has brought up a lot of questions in my head.
How come no one's asked, hey, what do you mean?
Hey,
you want to be in Hunting Wives?
What role do you want exactly in Hunting Wives is my question.
And you certainly don't want to be just that, like, random black girl in the group who barely speaks, because they didn't really give her a good role.
No, they gave her like 3 lines in the whole movie.
She didn't even get to shoot the gun.
I don't even know what her name was.
I don't remember either. Do you want to be, what's her name? Malin?
Is that her
main
name?
Character? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Whatever the main character's name, you want to be her side piece? What are you wanting out of this role, Angel?
I'd like to see it. I'd like to see Angel in Hunting Wives season 2.
Me too. You know what? Me too. I don't know what her role will be, but I'm sure she's going to be one of the wives. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe just to recap it off, I think probably TBD on whether Azzi should go to Dallas. But there's a lot of stuff. When you look online and everyday dedicated fans say it's only so-and-so more days left until I don't have to watch the Wings anymore.
Ooh.
That's where they're at.
Ooh, that's bad.
And that's happened every day. It's like, hey, I'm glad that a new sport is coming and this sport is ending.
That's not good. And I feel for Paige in that scenario, because it does feel like they just kind of left her on an island to just be like, well, figure it out. Have fun.
Yeah.
Down there with Man Bun.
Bad. And like, it's like, oh, well, we like them, so we're going to let them just, like, sort of just like go through the world with blind naivete.
I have a qualm, and I asked you about it.
You have a qualm?
I have a qualm, yeah.
You have qualms to say.
I have qualms to say. And I've brought this up to you over text. And I said, why does my girl AT not get more respect? Because I think I sent you like 4 texts this weekend during games that was like, yo, where is she in the MVP betting? Why is she not higher? When are we going to start putting respect on her name? Is it time to talk about AT as MVP? And I am going to get shirts. AT MVP season. Because
Alyssa
that's where
Thomas
we're at.
MVP.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
Is she your favorite player to watch?
Okay, so you asked me this. And no, I wouldn't say she's my favorite. I would say she's probably my second favorite. I don't want to say who my first favorite is because I don't want to get canceled. But I would say overall, yes, I would say AT is, I really enjoy watching her play. I really enjoy watching her creativity with the ball. But I also feel like she will quietly just go on a run, on a tear. And all of a sudden she's had 3 straight triple doubles. And who else is doing that right now?
Well, no one's doing that. I think the thing that makes it so interesting as you get like really into the WNBA is it's like, well, you've chosen a lane. You without knowing it, you've become a hardcore fundamental basketball fan. Because those are the people that love AT. Are the ones that want, I don't care about how it necessarily looks. I don't care about all the tunnel fits, and I don't care about all the flash and the this or the that. I don't care about the chirping. AT just quietly goes about being an assassin.
Not that quietly, because remember, she was voted biggest trash talker. So
I mean in terms of her production.
Got it. Okay.
In terms of like, you think about, for example, one of the loudest players in the league, which is Caitlin Clark, right? And one of her most, I think this will go down as one of her more iconic shots of her career. And we saw it against the New York Liberty, where she sort of danced with Breanna Stewart. She had already hit 2 threes, so she was hot. So she felt she was on a heat check. And she just barely gets it over Breanna's fingertips. And it just splash. And then she starts to laugh like, holy shit. Breanna Stewart starts to laugh. And Sandy Brondello even starts to laugh.
Sure.
That's a loud, like, how you score, when you score, in what order. Like, if you can score in bunches, like Sophie Cunningham to a degree will score in bunches. Like a couple of threes, boom, boom, boom. And you're like, ooh, shit. Like, let me check the stat. I never see Alyssa Thomas make a shot where I'm like, I feel like she's really hot right now. I'm going to need to go to the box score and see what she has. That's how quiet she is at doing her goddamn job. So, and then all of a sudden you like look up and you go to the box score afterwards. And then you're like, oh shit, Alyssa Thomas had 11 assists and 9 rebounds and 16 points. And I think because she's probably not like the most prolific scorer, we don't think of her that way either. And again, she's not really a star, quote unquote. Like Sophie Cunningham right now is a bigger, quote unquote, star than Alyssa Thomas, even though she's one of the most respected players, even though she's one of the like biggest trash talkers, and she's definitely a killer. I think it's just like not enough media attention goes on her, sort of to the degree that we saw with Napheesa Collier last year, where it was like, God damn, what does Napheesa Collier got to do?
That's kind of how I feel about AT. Like, what does she need to do to get?
It's just not her year. Napheesa's just. It's just Napheesa's gonna win it, and that's it. Like, and Napheesa Collier probably could have won it last year, but it was like, we're giving it to Asia, no matter what, and we'll give the Defensive Player of the Year to Fee as kind of like a second place MVP. And then Napheesa Collier came out so hot to start the year, and they were the best, undefeated for 10 games or whatever, 9 of 10 games. And then it was like, well, she kind of built momentum in the offseason with everything that was going on with Unrivaled and her kind of getting snubbed for the MVP last year. It's kind of a carryover award.
Okay.
So it's nothing Alyssa Thomas can do or should do or like is wrong with her. Like, I think she could win it next year. I think she's got the type of game that she could do it. But the odds have shortened. They've gone from 7-1 to 2.5-1 in the last 7 days. So I guess what she would need to do is Napheesa Collier would need to not play anymore this season. Like, be out for the next 12 games.
I mean, she's been out now for
3 games.
3 games. Which, I mean, I know you said that it probably won't amount to that many games in the long run, but I mean, if AT just keeps having these triple doubles, double doubles, constant while she's out,
Constant.
does that not put her up?
Do you think that she should win it over Napheesa Collier?
I mean, I don't feel comfortable making that call. I don't. I don't have a vote for a reason.
I don't feel comfortable making that call. I mean, that's what
I'm
you're
not gonna
advocating for.
Well, here's what I'm advocating for. Yes, I am advocating for Alyssa to win MVP. Am I saying that means Fee does not deserve MVP? I'm not saying that because I'm
okay, because you don't want to get clipped. I get it.
But
someone's got to win it. And so you believe Alyssa should win it over, not to say that nobody's not deserving. They're both deserving. But if you had a vote, you would vote Alyssa Thomas to win the MVP over Napheesa Collier.
yes.
See? She would, because she's a big Alyssa Thomas fan. She needs to watch more Lynx games. I do agree that Alyssa Thomas doesn't get nearly the respect that she deserves from fans. But also, what I will say about the Mercury right now is we got to get some other folks involved. And maybe they're just chucking, and Alyssa Thomas is putting the ball where she needs to. But it can't just be DeWanna Bonner and Alyssa Thomas. If you look at what this Mercury team did last night.
You're looking for the box score?
Yeah, so they just lost by 8 to the Dream. Mm-hmm. And this is the part that really shocked me. Alyssa Thomas, 21-8-5. Just another day at the office for Alyssa.
Yeah.
DeWanna Bonner, 16-5-1. Mm-hmm. No other player on the team in double figures, including Satu. Cannot happen.
Kalia Copper should be, right? Like, she theoretically should be playing better. And
Monique
so should
Okoa Makani for most of the beginning of the year, she's been awesome. Satu is averaging, what is she averaging per year or this year? She's averaging 17 points, 7 rebounds, and 2.5 assists with 1.3 steals. Since, we've talked about this before, there's been a couple of good games since DeWanna came to the team, but not many. And we need that consistently from Satu and DeWanna if it's going to work. So,
who do you think could come off the bench for them and make a big difference?
I think they need more out of Sammy Whitcomb, who at one point, she's a microwave. She can get you 15, 17 points in a game. Like, she's a 3-point sniper. You need her to do something.
She had 36 at one point this season.
Yeah, she did. She did. You need more from Kalia Copper. And she's not a bench player, but you need her. Westbeld to do some things. She only got 16 minutes. And I don't know. I think just in general, there just needs to be a little bit more balanced scoring. And I can't figure out whether it's because of the way that AT and DB have this like amazing connection. They've played together for a really long time in Connecticut before Phoenix. So they just know each other's tendencies, where they want the ball, all that stuff. But it's kind of like a college quarterback and his wide receiver. You can't just target them. You need to target. I know Joe Burrow has Jamar Chase, but we need to get T. Higgins the ball as well. And otherwise it's going to look a certain way. And even if it's not a certain way. And so that can cause some dissension in the ranks. Even though they're fourth right now in the standings, I think that's something to keep an eye on, because this team just really can't score that 60-something points the other night.
Let's talk about some of these teams that made some big moves before the trade deadline. Notably, the Liberty, the Lynx, and the Storm all went out and got
players.
They all got a chess piece to move forward on the board.
And we're not talking
Liberty.
pawns.
No, the Liberty got Mieseman, the Lynx got Dejanay, and the Storm got Slim. Brittany Sykes. Which of those three do you think is going to make the biggest impact come playoff run?
I got into the lab, and I think it's quite obvious. I think it's Dejanay.
That's not who I thought you were going to say.
So I saw them play against the Storm, and they should have lost that game. No Napheesa. They're in Seattle. Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe are there on the sidelines. And she had her fingerprints all over the way that team won. She's getting out into transition, getting easy layups. She's back cutting, getting easy layups. She's deflecting balls. She's a ball hawk. She's stealing, going the other way. She has a chase down block. She's got a 3 in the very next possession. So she is making an impact in that Storm game. That's another contender. Boom. And then they played against the Liberty on Sunday. And if you watch her highlights from that game, 5 to 6 plays were her during the 9-0 run against the Liberty right after
that's
halftime.
right. Yeah.
She's like, couple of layups, one in transition, one underneath the basket, one snatch steal to go the other direction. It was like Dejanay. So I think that she's averaging 13 points per game as a Lynx player, shooting 62% from the field, averaging 2 steals per game. And then the thing that I think is really impactful and makes it sort of send over to the next level for me is that you look at Sabrina, right? And Sabrina's just a dog, just a scoring phenom. She helped hold Sabrina to just 10 points in that game on Sunday. 4 for 15 shooting. That to me is the key. While the Storm getting Brittany Sykes is impactful, they've lost 4 straight. I don't think it's going to be enough for them. I think this turns the Lynx into the team to beat.
To be fair, I mean, I think we already thought that in a lot of ways, that we thought the Lynx were going to be the team to beat, but now they've added Dejanay. And then they did the sneakiest thing of all, which I think is being undervalued.
So shady.
It's so shady, but I think it's being super undervalued as a chess move. We're talking about pieces on the table right now. But they went Jalen Sherrod cut or waived by the Liberty after the deadline, right? They had too much inventory. They got rid of Jalen Sherrod. The Lynx immediately go out and bring Jalen Sherrod in. We don't expect Jalen Sherrod to make a huge difference on the court, but this is some like spy ops going on here, is it not?
Cheryl Reeves talked about it. I want to get her quote because it was hilarious.
Okay.
Cheryl Reeve on what Jalen Sherrod brings to the Lynx. Don't know yet. She just got here. Maybe some corporate knowledge.
A little espionage going on. And you know what? I appreciate that it's out in there. Corporate knowledge. People were like, I'm so happy for Jalen, but could it have been anybody else? Anyone? Like, was there not another team that needed somebody?
Some psyop stuff. And it's like, well, if you're a fan of Jalen Sherrod, which we put out a carousel on our page, and people really like Jalen Sherrod, and they didn't want to get rid of her, the Liberty. But it's like, well, how did the Lynx find a spot for her, but the Liberty couldn't?
Well, now Jalen Sherrod is about to potentially be a back-to-back WNBA champion.
And we'll get to see them play again next Saturday, which is super weird because there's 3 games in a row that the Lynx play the Liberty. But the Liberty have a bunch of games between now and Saturday. So the Lynx have almost 7 days off. 6 days off. So that'll be really interesting to see. And obviously, let's keep our eye on when we see Napheesa Collier come back from that sort of gruesome ankle injury.
Yo, we got to thank our first sponsor, Fuchs Financial, a financial advisory that helps real people plan for achievable retirements. Ben is a real one, by the way. Go and follow him on his YouTube. There's no scripts, there's no sales pitch. He just gives you some advice that you can use. Fuchs Financial, planning without pressure. I like that.
Let's move on to the NWSL. There was some big rivalry games in the NWSL this week as well. Gotham Spirit we watched, and that game was horrifically boring.
Do you think it would have been as boring if there wasn't a red card given out where Gotham was 1 man down?
No, I don't think so, because I think that forced Gotham to play super high up, right? Because you've got goal scorers in Washington that you don't want to allow. So, but because of that, you have so many people inside the box that, like, there's like 15 bodies. I mean, there's nowhere for a ball to go in there. Like, you can't, there's no shot creation. You can't actually set up any plays. It's just like whose feet are available at the moment. And I think that makes it, I mean, good on Gotham to contain that, but it definitely was not what Washington wanted in that game.
A 0-0 game was not what any of us planned for on our Saturday morning.
Not for that game. No, not for that game. When you look at the rosters of those two teams, like, you do not expect a 0-0 draw. I mean, in any capacity, you would not expect that. So I think, I mean, it was boring, but I think the biggest takeaway, you asked me at one point during this game, is why isn't Gotham better?
Yeah, I was looking at their roster, and I was like, is that Jess Carter? Is that Jess Carter from the England national team? Jess Carter plays for Gotham. Oh, shit. And then I was like, oh, and Esther, as they call it, Esther. Golden Boot winner, most likely. You got Emily Sonnet on there. You got Rose Lavelle on there. You got one of the best goalkeepers in the league in AKB. You got Jalen Howell. It's kind of like, well, what is... You guys are what? In the NWSL standings, you're 10th? They're 8th. Eighth in the league. Houseway. How?
To me, it's giving 2017 Pride. You know, do you remember that Orlando Pride team? It had Marta, Alex Morgan, Allie Krieger, Ashlyn Harris, Alana Kennedy, and they like could not win games to save their lives. And
yeah, it gives me that.
It gives me that vibe. You can,
but these players are in their prime, though. Alex Morgan was on the downslope.
No, not in 2017.
You don't think so?
No. In 2017? Absolutely not.
Well, no, I think in 2019. Downslope.
Okay, but I'm talking 2017.
Okay, so how old was Alex Morgan then?
How old am I?
34.
How do I know your age? That's also not true. Because you were also wrong.
35. I was giving you a year.
I think Alex Morgan's a year older than me.
So she was what, 29?
So she was 28.
Okay.
28.
How old was Allie?
It's about the same, probably like 30.
Okay, and Marta was like in her prime-ish. She was still older.
Like 30.
She's
30.
31.
30.
31.
Anyway, my point was that you can have all this talent on a team, but if they don't mesh, if they're not gelling, right, then it doesn't really matter.
That means we're right for a trade then, because it can't just be star power for Gotham. If I'm another team, then I think I'm like a striker away. Go fucking get Esther, right? You know,
it's tough
because so you guys stink. Okay, you guys are butt. And so, like, let me hand you some
Esther
money and
is
some
probably gonna win MVP this year. On top of that,
who do you think she would fit the best on? Portland?
I mean, She'd be fun to watch in Portland. Yeah, she'd be super fun to watch in Portland. I think, like, Gotham has to be, like, one click away from getting it to just...
They looked really good in the second half. They just looked very tough, like very resilient.
And when they're on, they're on. Mm-hmm. When they're on, they're so on. But when they're off just a little bit, it's like, what are we doing?
Also, I hate to, like, give her a hard time because she's just coming off of an international run. But AKB was terrible.
She was not. She had a couple questionable decisions.
Just really questionable. Even me, I'm like, hey, baby, why are you doing that? Why are you up? Why are you up so far? You're lucky that the Spirit. You're lucky that the Spirit didn't capitalize. One of them hit the post. That thing should have been in. And there was a couple of, like, little bobbles where it looked super dicey. She didn't look sharp, I just have to say.
But then you have them, you know, they went and they played the CONCACAF Champions League or whatever, Champions Cup, whatever they want to call it. That's like the, you know, America's version of the Champions League.
Yep.
And Gotham won that. So they're there. They are there. They can win games 4-0. They can win games. Earlier this season, they beat, what happened to your light? Anyway, I was just saying about Gotham, kind of my last point about Gotham is that they won the Champions Cup, you know, the CONCACAF Champions Cup. They have this ability to be stellar. And they have this ability to really be an elite team and to make a strong push here at the end of the season for the playoffs. I would just like to see them. I mean, Midge is coming back from an injury. It'll be really interesting to see how she fits in on this offense because I think Esther needs help. I think that's the biggest thing right now is I think Esther really needs help up front. We saw the very first minutes of Sofia Cantori with the Spirit. She was a pickup in the international break. She plays for Italy. She's coming from Juventus. She's probably not as familiar to the American fan base because she's an Italian player. However, the very little I saw of her play made me super excited because
she pops off the screen.
She does pop off the screen. Really fancy footwork that she has this ability to really navigate her way around, even when it was so crowded. You know, we were seeing her and Trinity both came in towards the end, and they're the ones that, you know, Trin has the Trin spin, and Sofia Cantori has a lot of that same vibe to me, and I'm really excited to see the two of them with Croy, with Gift Monday, and I think it's going to make the Spirit electric up front, and I think it's going to be, I think she's really good, and we'll see how she fits in with the existing team, but just from the very little I saw, I'm super excited to see what she can produce. At Juventus last season, she had 11 goals, 7 assists, scored off her left foot, scored off her right foot. So I think I'm really excited to see what she's able to provide. You know, Croy, you have Croy on the left, you have Trinity on the right. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, she was super exciting. Also, I don't know if you saw it got kind of lost into the mix. They didn't really talk about it, but Trinity took a really hard fall in that game.
She did.
And took a long time to get back up. And I just want to put that on people's radar because anytime someone with a back injury and a history of this issue goes down and has a hard time getting back up,
she was slow.
Yeah, very. And then, like, didn't feel like as bouncy and poppy and energetic after that. So let's keep an eye on that because we're obviously wanting to make sure that Trinity's full strength, full health, not just this season, but that she doesn't have any setbacks.
Because she was, like you said, she was slow. She kind of like got up.
Gingerly.
She kind of winced. She ginger. And she got the wind knocked out of her. She got kind of like kicked in the ribs. But it's just, it's like when.
Again, AKB.
I was a little mad about that one.
Come on, AKB. Come on. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Just get back the fuck up. You didn't need to do that.
You didn't need to come all the way out for that. That was a little intense. Portland Reign.
Speaking of aggressive.
Talking about aggressive, arguably probably the most heated of the rivalries in the NWSL. It was the biggest crowd this season for the NWSL, 22,000 fans. And did you know they call it the Cascadia? Do you have any idea why that's?
Yeah, this region is called the Cascadia region, the Pacific Northwest as a whole. So Seattle, Portland, I don't know if Idaho falls into the Cascadia region, but that whole like sort of Pacific Northwest tree forested area, that's the Cascadia.
Okay, you had thoughts about this rivalry.
Well, first and foremost, what I have thoughts on is Megan Rapinoe. Megan Rapinoe acts like she is born and bred and raised and solidified in fire in Seattle. I'm sorry, what? You went to the University of Portland, okay? Your first allegiance in your career besides the USA is here, okay? You want to be cute and be like, oh, the Cascadia rivalry, we hate them, they hate us. All good, all good. But don't come into my town talking all that shit, acting like you can be talking crazy. And it's like, we don't like you either, okay? We don't like Seattle. I think people who aren't from here, they don't realize that it's a real bitter. It's kind of like a little like Baltimore and DC. Okay. Like, it's like, we don't fuck with Baltimore. They're not us, okay? Like, we're not fucking with them. We get lumped together with them, and we are not the same. They don't talk the same. We don't act the same. The cultures aren't the same. The areas aren't the same. None of it is the same. Seattle is all about Starbucks and tech money and all this bullshit.
It's
and
fancy,
Portland,
Amazon.
Fancy, and everybody wants to act like, oh, yeah, Seattle's the spot. It's like, no, Portland's the spot. And so we have this rivalry over the air. Apparently, this goes back to the 1800s when each city was trying to be like the Pacific Northwest hub where shit came in, and we were like, oh, we're gonna be the hub, and like, oh, we're gonna be the hub because we're right on the water. Mm-hmm. Anyway, fuck them. And guess what? We hung 4 on that ass.
Yeah, 4-2 is the final.
And we're literally like back to back. I think
it's like I think going into the game I was gonna say going into this game, I think the rivalry had been like a dead even, like 16 wins each that they had both had.
Well, Portland's 4 and Seattle's 6. Portland's 5 and Seattle's 6. Excuse me. So we have 25 points. They have 24 points. So it was a super meaningful rivalry game.
Yeah, the Thorns are a team I'd watch coming down the stretch. They're a team I would watch coming down the stretch. So have you heard about this what'll as they would say in England, drama?
What? The scandal.
The scandal, the water bottle drama. That's been all over the UK tabloids, by the way. It's like
I am locked in because, as a temporary member of Team Spain, I am fucking outraged, obviously.
I thought we switched. I thought we went to England. I thought this was
a pro-England pod. No, we're not a pro-England pod.
So Hannah Hampton, for those who have not been following, locked in on the Daily Mail UK, as Trysta is. So Hannah Hampton, England goalie, England keeper, and Kata Coy, Spain keeper, are having a little bit of a back and forth online over a water bottle. Because Hannah Hampton her claim was that during the Euros penalty kicks, that she took the Spain keeper's water bottle that had the notes of what the
cheat sheet
UK team, what the England team was going to do in their penalties, and that she took it and she threw it into the crowd. And Kata immediately said, no, that did not happen. And she went on Twitter and was like, that would be funny if it were true or something that whatever. And now people are trying to like prove her wrong about it. And
they're trying to manufacture the bottle.
They're trying to manufacture this. So Okay, by the way, you sent me a picture, or you sent in the group text a picture, and I think Sam was like, immediately no. Immediately, this is fake. I can tell you that right now. She took one look at it and was like, if this was real, first of all, the writing would be in Spanish, number one. It would not be in English, because she's a Spanish keeper, not English. So there's hint number one. Number two, because it was the fan, right, who caught the water bottle, claimed that this was the water bottle. It was very clearly someone who had just printed this out and taped it onto a Gatorade water bottle, like one of the squish ones, within the last 5 seconds. Because there's
Fresh
no
tape.
dirt. It's fresh tape. There's no dirt. There's
No sweat.
There's no sweat. And if you had a water bottle, if you're holding it, your hand would crinkle the page. Like, come on. Be so fucking for real.
Also, the Spanish are incensed. They went
I'm sure.
berserk. And
about
England fans were like, ha ha, yeah, you guys were cheating. And I would have been upset too. If that was real.
No, but
I think
Hannah Hampton said, this is why I put it on my arm. Like, she was saying that this is why I don't write my notes on a water bottle. This is why I write them on my arm, so that no one can throw my arm in the stands, is what she was like. That was I feel like Hannah Hampton was probably trolling, is my guess.
Yes.
And people have taken it and like made it into this, because I don't think. But
do you think she did it, or do you think she didn't do it?
No, I don't think she did it. I don't think she did it.
You think she
I don't
made
think
it up? She just made it up.
Yes, I think she made it up. Because if she had really done it, do you not think somebody would have posted a picture of it by now?
I also think she wouldn't have talked about it if she did it.
No, I don't think, because what people were saying was, if she did it, it's bad sportsmanship.
It cheapens the win.
Yeah, like, people were saying it was bad sportsmanship if she did that. They were saying it was, it was all kinds of criticisms on her. I don't think she really did it. I think she was kidding. And I think that the steps that, like, the Daily Mail did a whole photo breakdown of following the water bottle, like, in the broadcast, and like where the water bottle.
No,
yes,
they
did.
not.
Yes, they did. This is what I'm saying. It's too much. It's too much. We need to relax.
The England, I don't think we really quite appreciate the level of insanity that England media has. The level of, like, paparazzi.
Oh, they're crazy. No, they're crazy.
They are fucking nuts.
Daily Mail.
I remember
Mirror.
when Tom Brady's jersey got stolen after the 2017 Super Bowl. Out of the locker room, I remember a media member from USA Today followed the jersey, like literally went on the case to find out where the jersey got stolen. Right? Do you know where he was from? That reporter?
England.
England. He was from England, and an English reporter covering the NFL for USA Today. That's the kind of shit they do.
Of course it is. Quick little couple notes around sports, things that we need to put on our radar before they get going, because I don't want us to be behind. I want us to be on the forefront of it. Number one thing, volleyball. Volleyball is back. Nebraska, who is, the Alabama football of women's college volleyball, collegiate volleyball.
It's going.
Played their red and white scrimmage game this past week. The game was sold out. A scrimmage game.
That's crazy.
We're not even in school yet. It's summer.
It's going to be lit. We should go to a game. That's going to be lit. I can't wait to see them this year. I think I'm going to be much more locked in on women's volleyball than I ever have been. And we got into it just when I was working on the betting show, just because it's so much fun. And there's shockingly, a lot of action watching women's volleyball. Shockingly,
I'm sure.
like a ton, like spikes and blocks. And there's
super exciting.
I want to say it was maybe Tennessee was really good last year. And I watched a bunch of their games, so I'm excited to watch Nebraska this year. So shout out to them for the red and white sold out game.
Also a shout out to West Suburban LL, who is the Johnstown, Pennsylvania team that captured the Little League Softball World Series Championship this past weekend.
Congratulations to them.
Let me tell you.
World Series is one of my bucket list items to go to.
I was locked in.
Were you?
A World Series, a Little League Softball World Series. I was watching it at the gym.
No, you were not.
Yeah, I was. Okay, so it started because we were watching this game that we did not realize was from the night before because they were showing it as if it was live. And this girl, whose name, Harmony White, okay?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
From Tulsa National, hits a 2-run walk-off home run to end the game and send them into the semifinals. And her dad's reaction was quite possibly the most peak softball dad reaction. Like, he's screaming in everyone's face, like, that's my baby. And you're like, I love this. I love what I'm watching. The energy from this dad is what every dad watching any sporting event for the rest of history needs to look like. Was Harmony White's dad.
Also, some more news. Do more news. The United States women's national team avenged one of its very rare defeats in international lacrosse. Guess what? America, fuck yeah, killing Canada 16-8 to win the gold medal at the World Games in Chengdu, China. So just another instance of us continuing Canada.
Just
US
another
rivalry.
championship. Just another championship for America because that's what we do.
Do you feel any connection to Canada? Like you personally, because your fiance is Canadian, do you feel like you have to kind of root for them or no?
I mean, I do. I do feel like, I here's the thing. If we're playing them in like soccer or hockey, then not so much. But in like a day-to-day rivalry thing, like I'm always pulling for Canada in the same way that I always pull for the Florida Gators because my dad went to Florida,
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to see you lose, but like, I'm also not willing to lose to you.
Right.
So that's kind of how I feel about Canada. Like, I like to see their happiness when it does not personally affect my unhappiness.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't know if I like them at all. I like them in theory. No, I like them in theory. Like, I like Canadians. But if we are talking about anything that we compete with Canada in, I don't want Canada to succeed. I mean, yeah, any sport that we compete with Canada in. There's some sports where Canada has nothing really to do with us. You don't
want to see Canada win the Olympics in hockey.
Definitely not. No.
Right.
But I also wouldn't want them to win an Olympic medal in a sport that we don't really care about.
But why does that matter?
Because what if we decide to care?
Like what's the one where they shoot?
Oh yeah. No, I don't like that. No. The skeet shooting. No, I'm not rooting for them.
No. Like the winter shooting where they like cross country ski and then they set up their gun and they shoot like a target.
I don't remember what that's called, but I actually saw that event in Korea, but I never took stock of what that event was called.
You would think as Americans we'd be better at the gun sports.
You would think we would be like the top at the gun sports.
You'd think. But we're not.
Because everybody has a gun.
America.
Anyway, that was a great show, Sarah. Did you have a good time?
Yeah, we got through a lot. We had a lot of stuff in this show.
It was a meaty show.
A meaty show. We need a little less meat on the bone next time, I think.
Well, maybe there'll be less snooze. Anyway, great show. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure, though, follow us on YouTube at The Daily W Sports. Our podcast, obviously, as you know, is Let Her Shoot. So follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, The Daily W Sports, on Threads as well. And we will see you next time, Sarah. 3, 2, 1. What?
This is the text I just got from Sam.
The Canada flag. 3, 2, 1. Let her shoot.
I'm a hot girl. I get anything I want. This is my world. I make big moves in my big heels. Since the day that I was born, I've been a big deal.